Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Good evening and welcome to your deal reveal, where every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, we reveal a deal to you, or at least we have been for the past 4 years. And tonight is no exception. We're going to bring you a multifamily property, and not just the duplex or a triplex, a 6 unit, tenanted, basically ready to go. It's already tenanted, already cash flowing for the price, for less than the price of probably a single family home in your Canadian market. So let's dive in to another episode of the Deal Reveal and a few little of announcements before we begin. We're not sure if we're going to be continuing these deal reveals forever or for very much longer. Some of you have heard of the deal zone, which is basically going to be the deal reveal at any time of day and night that you can just log into this website, to this app, see the off-market inventory that we have amassed and gathered, and also collected, but also organized. And we're helping you do your due diligence online to facilitate and increase the transparency in these transactions along the way. So we've been working very, very hard. The deal zone is being coded as we speak, and I just got an update a little earlier today that they're ahead of schedule. So that's really, really exciting. So stay tuned. Yeah, and enjoy these final deal reveal episodes that we've been doing religiously for the last 4 years. So that's the first update of the night. Second update is after I go to bed tonight, tomorrow morning I'm getting up very early and I'm starting to drive to you. We are driving to Canada. Well, I'm driving to Canada anyways. And on Wednesday, March 12th in Laval, we're going to have a meet and greet. So that's just outside of Montreal. It will be in French. And for those of you who will be in attendance, we will be revealing for the first time a brand new, never done before thing in the Now for Tomorrow community, in the JK community here. We are going to give you an offer to attend a weekend training, but it will be like nothing we've ever done before. So for those of you who I've piqued your curiosity, we look forward to seeing you on March 12th in that's a Wednesday in Laval. And don't worry if you don't speak French or you can't make it to Laval. You're just going to be a couple of weeks delayed to hear what it's all about. But a little special something for those who will be attending the March 12th in Laval French meet and greet, where Janie and myself and JK team members will be there. Thank you, JK team, who just in the chat posted the sign up link to this, which is free. All we ask is once you get there, pay for your own drinks and your own food, and off you go. All right, let's dive in. And apologies, the slides may be a little wonky. My presentation software had an update last night, and we're realizing that it's not 100%. So, deals of the week. For those of you who heard about the Millionaire's Row mansion, a 19 unit, I had a final call with the seller, the bank that foreclosed, and the seller that we're going to buy it. So if you were still hemming and hawing over this deal that I presented back in December, and if you want to be part of this project, just shoot us an email, info@jkrealestatepartners.com, and we will see if there is a slot left for you in this particular deal, because I'm expecting tomorrow this deal to finally have the final terms negotiated, and we're going to get started. So it's not too late if you're still waiting for an opportunity. All right, so today's deal reveal. First of all, let's see who we have on the call here. I see people are still logging in, but nice to see you, Andrew and Bassem. Hey, Bassem. Brian, Catherine, Charles, Dan, David. And as I'm going through this, if it's your first time on the Real Deal Reveal, can you just in the chat go first time? Would love to know in case I'm not catching you in the chat here. David, we have Dennis, we have Eric. Hi, Eric. How are we doing? You should have been on here tonight to showcase your most recent deal. Darn you, I had to find another sixplex for everybody. That's okay. I'm sure no one's disappointed. Francois, Harry, Isabel as well. I had lots of communications with Isabel today and tomorrow again. Jenny, John, Kip and Amy, of course. Kishore, Larry, Leonard, Les, Marcin, Nancy, of course, Nancy, one of our veterans. Peter, Phil, Rich, Robert Brisson. Thank you so much, Robert, for your most recent testimonial of the All You Can Learn. And it's just you said it so beautifully, and we thank you so much for sharing the love. Sylvie, Varun, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And we do have quite a bit of new people, and people are saying hi as well. Emmanuel is there too. Hi, hi, hi. Oh, thank you so much. Awesome. All right, so let's jump in. We have a sixplex here, and what we do on these deal reveals is we show you that it doesn't take an hour, it doesn't take a day, it doesn't take a week, it doesn't take a month to analyze a deal, or at least get a good sense of where the numbers are. So we're going to take a look at this, and within 5 minutes, I like to talk around, so it might be a few more minutes than 5, but within a very short amount of time, we can really size up what these opportunities are and decide if it's worth putting more time, if it's worth putting in an offer, if it's worth exploring further to do your due diligence. So here we go. We have a 6-unit apartment building in zip code 44108. $325,000 for a sixplex. So we're just over $50,000 per unit. It is currently bringing in $5,000 a month, and there are 2 one-bedrooms and 4 two-bedrooms. So that's what we have. How do we know what to do with this, right? Well, there's a lot of different ways we can go about this. So, very first, don't forget that we have given away our ultimate real estate calculator. So if you haven't already downloaded the calculator, feel free to go to our website or send us an email, say, hey, I didn't find the calculator. Or on our portal, if you're part of the community, you can go straight to the calculator. There's even some videos explaining how to use it in different situations based on creative financing, based on multiple mortgages. You can play with it in many different ways. But the point is you have a tool to calculate these deals. So, and I want you to tell me if this is a deal or no deal. And this is a very real deal. First come, first serve. Since I'm out of town for the next week or so, if no one picks it up, the deal butler is going to be negotiating this deal and providing it to the people who are in the wait list for the deal butler. The deal butler is me finding and negotiating deals for you and finding cash flow so that everybody wins in the end. Okay, so let's get started. The sixplex, 44108, 325,000. So first thing to do, it's so easy to do this trick, is take a look at the purchase price to how much the monthly rents are. Are your monthly rents at least 1% of the total project cost, the total purchase price? So what would 1% of 325,000 be? It would be 3,250. Are we above that? Yes, significantly above that. We're at 5,000 a month, whereas the 1% rule would be 3,225. So that's already a very good indicator that you have cash flow in your deal. And the higher that margin is, the more you're above 1%. If you're at 1.3, 1.5, 2%, we're not quite 2% here, but we're comfortably above 1.5. So let me just pull out my calculator for you. Let's get this going. If I can just exit this slide. There we go. All right. So very first thing we do is we take that monthly rent and we divide it by the total purchase price. We're at 1.54%, right? That gives you a ratio, it gives you a percentage. So at 1.54%, very strong rent to purchase price ratio here. So that's the first trick, the first 1% rule, just to see if you're ballpark, because you can get opportunities across the US, especially across Canada, where you're not satisfying the 1% rule. And for those deals, it's going to be very difficult to get cash flow if you're not satisfying the 1% rule. So here, not only are we satisfying it, we have 50% above it. So we're very strong, and we haven't even negotiated. We haven't done anything yet. And we don't know if rents are under market. So there's a lot of upside potentially in these numbers. All right, so that's the first thing to know. Excellent. Yes, so Dan, I did see you just popped in a question there. So feel free to pop in your questions as I'm talking, and I'll try to address as many by the end of the call or through the explanation. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you can definitely put your address, put your property in realtor.com and get a sense of where this property is located, how old it is, how much it sold for last and when, all these fun things. So in this particular property, we are in Glenville. So Glenville is one of those areas in Cleveland that certainly not suburb quality. It's your inner city. It can definitely be rough in Glenville, but Glenville is an opportunity zone. There's been a lot of money going into the Glenville area, a lot of federal, a lot of government money, grants, bursaries. It is an opportunity zone, and so there's a lot of money, and a lot of investors are looking at opportunity zones as well. What's really, really interesting with this, and take it as you wish, let me zoom out a little bit. Glenville and this street, 105th, turns right into Bratnall Road, right? So this is very local knowledge, but below the 90, you're in Glenville. Above the 90, you're in Bratnall, which is another, I'll call it a it's a township, neighborhood, village of Bratnall. But Glenville is a DC suburb, right? C or D grade. Bratnall, boom, you jump up to an A. All right, very big discrepancy between these two areas. And obviously, it's very hard to cash flow in Bratnall, and your properties are easily in the millions up here, or close to at least for most of them, and some in the multi millions in Bratnall. And then in Glenville, you get a sixplex for 325,000. So just know where you're investing. You're very close to a high end, but it's going to take a lot of time before Glenville turns into an A area. But the point is, you're basically in a C minus D area as a whole in Glenville, and then it depends on what street specifically you're on to see if it makes sense. But I like the fact that it's right on 105th, which is the connecting street to Bratnall. It's a direct pathway here, and Sinclair with public transportation and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's that. Now, we are in a 6-unit apartment complex here. And so 6 units is not residential. So we can't just go to realtor.com and take a look at its estimated value here. You can't go on Zillow. You can't look at comps that way when it's above 4 units. The value of an asset is primarily determined by how much income it generates, how much cash flow it generates. And so that's why cash flow is key. Let's get a sense of how much this building can bring in. Because we're in a CD area, most likely you'll want to have some type of guaranteed rental income program like Section 8 or Eden or Veterans Administration, something with subsidized guaranteed rents paid by the government. So here, if you've been on the Deal Revealed before, you've seen me go on this website before. It's the CMHA Rent Determination app. And here you can put in the zip code of your property and see what this program can pay, the top end of this program for a 2-bedroom and for a 1-bedroom. Okay, and I like to always deduct about $150, $200 from these numbers because you will likely not want to pay for the utilities yourself, and so they will not give you maximum if you're not paying for all the utilities. And so here I'm going to say a 2-bedroom is going to be close to 1,000, and a 1-bedroom is going to be close to 800, 850 if you're lucky, in that zone. So from here, we can compare those numbers with what the current rents are, right? The 2 bedrooms are currently being rented for 900 and one's at 700, and the 1-bedrooms are at 800, 825. So we're basically almost at market rents, maybe a little bit below, but it seems like this building has been kept up when it comes to how much rents are being collected. Got a couple pictures for you here. So we got the parking lot. We got brick exterior. Notice newer windows. I also have the information that this roof was resealed. And this is one of the ways, instead of replacing the whole roof, you just reseal it every 2 years. You can do that for a very long time to keep your roof in good condition, and so it doesn't leak and it stays structurally, ain't they structurally sound? There it is. So there we go. We got the front here. Now, because of the brick exterior and the new windows, your exterior is basically done. And obviously, we have to take a look and make sure that the mortar and all that, but you're not dealing with wood. You're not dealing with the lead-based paint certifications. All these big problems in Cleveland are being avoided by the virtue that you have brick and new windows. So on the inside, just it looks just nice. I mean, this is rent ready. From these pictures anyways. You know, of course it could look prettier, but you don't need prettier than this for this part of town. There we go. Just a couple of pictures. Maybe that door can use a little love, but beyond that, look at that. Of course, we don't have all the pictures, but it gives you a sense of what they're marketing and what they're putting out there. Okay. So now let's just do some quick numbers. We have 2 units that are going to bring in, let's say 825. So maybe just a small rent increase when you buy the property, just increasing them by 25 bucks. And then you got 4 other ones that were at 9. Let's put those at 950. So like basically a $50 increase rather quickly. And you can see that you're above that 5,000 mark very, very quickly. So that's every month. So that means in 1 year, you're making 65,000 gross a year off this building. And since we're in inner city Cleveland, I'm going to go with a 44% expense ratio. I'm going to keep 55% of that gross income. And I'm going to assume that there's 45% going to expenses, taxes, insurance, management, maintenance, utilities, and even a shit buffer budget for unexpecteds or just administration fees like rental permits, like a local agent in charge, these type of little things that you need in Cleveland. So after expenses, 36,000 a year off this particular asset. And if you're paying 325,000 for it, I'm going to add 25,000 at least, just because a true turnkey is practically impossible. I'm going to at least put 25,000 just in case you need some touch ups, so we're not fluffing the numbers too much. You see that if you divide your cash flow by your total project cost, that's what you get. You get a cap rate, the return on investment for your capital, and you are above a 10 cap, a 10% cash on cash return for your money on this deal. And so that means that you're buying cash flow at the end of the day. That's what that means, because you're likely going to be financing this property or buying it cash, and your financing won't be above 10% interest. And so you have a margin, therefore you have cash flow, and above 10% cap in a 6+ unit apartment building. I mean, this is a very good place to start. This is full asking price, by the way, right? You haven't negotiated, you haven't done anything yet. It's already performing at a 10 cap. Yes, the area might not be, an A, it's not a suburb quality, it is not, right? But there are a way to get guaranteed income. This is the quick rule. Expenses might be even lower than this if you do the full crunch. If you crunch it down, you might even see that this number is higher. But within a couple of minutes, we need to make sure that we have a sense of the idea here, a good sense of where the numbers lie. And it looks like we are above a 10 cap for this 6-unit apartment building, $325,000. Beautiful. Then we want to make sure that we're buying at a discount as well. So a 6-plex like this, it's rare that we have a market cap rate above 8%, meaning these type of assets trade usually at a 6 to 10% cap rate range. And because this is in the rougher part of town, I'm going to put a higher cap closer to the 8 or the 9%. So now, what does that mean? We had 35,970 of cash flow from this building if you bought it cash. And if this is truly in an 8 cap market, this property would be worth about 450,000. So if you're buying it for 325 and you're putting 25 into it, you're all in for 350, and there's a very good chance that we were going to be somewhere along the 450 in value. So going through this project, looks like you have about 100,000 of equity. Looks like you have some cash flow. Your 2 golden rules of real estate are satisfied. And for those of you who weren't looking for a big rehab project, just walking into a strong equity and equity and cash flow, well, it looks like this is checking all the boxes. So with that being said, is this a deal or no deal? Deal or no deal? All right, got some thumbs up, got some hearts. Fantastic. So I'll remind you all, this is a real deal. If I don't hear anything from anyone between now and Monday, I'm going to go in myself. I'm going to start negotiating this deal, and I'm going to hand it on a silver platter to the next person in line for the Deal Butlers wait list. But Emmanuel says it's a deal. We have Stan who says it's a deal. Eric says it's a deal. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. So let's go back, see if we have any questions, anything at all. If you are interested, just send us an email, info@jkrealestatepartners.com. Dan says, this is interesting, but unless this place lies north of the 90, then I think it's a D neighborhood. Right. So as I mentioned, yeah, C, D. There are less and less D areas. I mean, in the last 10 years, the whole of Cleveland and a lot of the US has just increased in quality and cleanliness and safety across the board. So it depends where you are in Glenville. I would comfortably say this is a C minus from this location, but yeah, you're right, you're not in a suburb here. Jenny also says it's a deal. Brian says it's a deal. So fantastic, we got some people. I love it. So is there any other questions, anything else? We got a whole bunch of other people who joined. Hi there, Bolu, nice to have you. Excellent, excellent. Well, you know how to get a hold of me if you are interested in this deal or any other deal that we feature on the deal reveal. So with that being said, I want to remind you that we will be having another presentation, a 90-minute. It's going to give you more time really going through the myths, the limiting beliefs that people have when they think they love these numbers, but they just don't know what the first step is or what the real true total opportunity is of investing in US real estate. Well, here's an opportunity for you. We have a 90-minute presentation, and yeah, we'd love to have you. jkrealestatepartners.ca/webinar. Again, it is free, or you can just scan that QR code right on the screen and RSVP your spot. Absolutely. Marcin, to my knowledge, yes, the parking lot is included in the deal, and you're very, very welcome, Dan. 100%. Hope to see you there. All right, so that's our deal for the evening. I hope you had fun. And yeah, without further ado, have a great evening. And I look forward to seeing those of you who are part of the community at 8 o'clock on our weekly mastery call, where we're going to dive into the depths of the negotiation for the 19 unit that I've been working since December. So it's finally coming to an end, and I'm going to give everybody the inside scoop on how that deal was structured and how I took it from one step to the other. This property, the Millionaire's Row Mansion, a piece of Cleveland's history, no less. It's looking like we're going to get it for about $500,000, where originally it was close to it was 750,000, and it looks like we're going to be at $500,000 now, with some creative terms involved. And so it's a totally different deal. We're very, very excited. It got even better along the way, and so fingers crossed we get this across the finish line in the next couple of weeks. So have yourself a great, great evening, everyone. Now or tomorrow. Go get your miracles.